Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Welcome to Wreathmas week. We are hitting day number 4, which means it's that halfway mark for my Wreathmas week 2025. 7 days, 7 wreaths, plus that bonus episode right at the very end, totaling 8 episodes for Wreathmas week 2025. A little reminder, there is a playlist right down below. You can click on that and that'll show you all of the previous episodes, and you can pick and choose and watch whichever ones you want, or you can watch them all. Why don't I just get started with day number 4 and I'll show you what I made. I am going to be using this 12-inch wooden wreath base along with some nautical rope. These come from the Dollar Tree. Some of these Burgundy velour or velvet Christmas bulbs, 2.5-inch wired ribbon, and I'm using some 2-inch velvet ribbon. This is not wired ribbon. And some Christmas picks with some berries, and I'm going to be using some of that small twine as well, and my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. Here is the shopping list for everything that you need to create this wreath. I'm starting off using our natural jute rope and our wreath base, the wooden wreath base. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little bit of hot glue and the end of our rope. Just glue that down, wrap it around a couple of times such that the rope is on that glue so it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to add a little bit more glue and just continue wrapping my rope all the way around, adding a little bit of glue like you see here every now and then. Once I'm done wrapping that one roll, all I do is I come back, add some glue down again, glue the ends at the back side, and then all I'm going to do is push that rope right into the glue, hold it in place for a little bit until it dries halfway, add some more glue, and then start at the end of my second roll. I used about 2 3/4, 2.5 of these rolls of the jute rope to complete that 12-inch wreath frame, that wooden base, just to get it completely covered. And once we do, we have the start of our wreath all ready to go. Then I'm going to take that thin jute rope or twine and I'm going to cut 9 pieces at various lengths. I didn't really measure it, I just kind of did it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those Christmas bulbs and at the very top where the connection is, feed the twine right through it, and I'm going to knot it several times. So about 3 or 4 times I'm going to knot that. And I have the greenery picks as well. These are greenery, small little greenery picks with little berries on there. Cut the excess of that twine off, and that's how we're going to hang our Christmas bulb from our wreath frame. And then I'm going to take those little picks, add some hot glue right at the very end, and I'm just going to feed it through the hook, and I'm just going to let that dry while I do the second one. So I'm going to add 2 of these little picks at each tops of our Christmas bulbs after I put that twine on there, just to add a little Christmas flair to those beautiful Christmas bulbs. And then I'm just going to set that off to the side, let that dry, and I'm going to do a total of 9 of these bulbs. So I'm doing the exact same thing for each of them, tying the twine on there, and then I'm going to hot glue those little Christmas picks right at the top as well. And again, I'm doing 9 of them. I know there's 12 in the pack, and I saved 3 of them for another project, maybe in the future. For my 2.5-inch wired ribbon, you can see that there was an elastic around the center. It made these really awful marks right in the middle. So I was really unhappy with that. And it went about halfway through the roll. So I didn't want to use the ribbon, but I also wanted to use this ribbon because I really loved it. And then I thought of this idea of just hot gluing that unwired ribbon, so non-wired ribbon, which is the velvet right in the middle of that 2.5-inch wired ribbon. So all I'm doing is I'm taking little sections at a time, adding some hot glue down, and then I'm adding that velvet ribbon right in the middle. And can I tell you, I freaking loved this at the end. I'm not going to lie. At first I thought, oh, this is not going to work. But then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? This is actually going to work. And what I'm doing here is because I cut off the ribbon that was destroyed, I'm going to measure it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it at 24 inches. So here I'm measuring out 24 inches. So I'm cutting 2 pieces at 24 inches. Of the 2.5-inch wired ribbon with the 2-inch velvet ribbon, I'm going to cut one piece at 18 to 20 inches and another piece at 16 to 18 inches. So the 2 pieces for our bow, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue right at the end, curl it underneath, and then just attach it together, creating a little disc shape or a little tube, if you will. And then for our 18 and 16-inch pieces, I normally do a dovetail, but I wanted to try something different, so I'm just cutting our ribbons on an angle. I apologize, I did this off camera. You can see it right at the bottom. I wasn't right in the center, so I apologize for that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 long pieces, crisscross them together, take a cable tie, lay that right in the center, and then what I'm going to do is put that aside and I'm going to overlap my tails, squish it right in the middle, create that V so I can see where the middle is of our tails. Then I'm going to bring back the bow with the cable tie, place the tails right there in the center, and I'm going to slowly gather all of my ribbon together with the cable tie. And I'm not going to tie it tight just yet because I am going to take another cable tie and I'm going to insert that right in between the ribbon and the cable tie, cut the excess off, and then of course it's fluffing time. So we're going to fluff up our bow a little bit here. There's only 4 loops, so I'm not fluffing for too long. And the final touches of our little bow, I wanted to add some pine cones on there along with some greenery as well. I only ended up using 1 pine cone, but I'm hot gluing the greenery on there as well. And I had a couple of the greenery with the red berries left over, so I'm going to use that right at the center. And then our bow is all ready for our wreath. And now we have everything ready for our wreath frame. I'm making sure that I'm using the front side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang those Christmas bulbs that we attach the twine to onto our wire frame at various lengths. And I'm making sure that my bow doesn't cover my Christmas bulbs. So I put the bow on there, measured out, and then I tied the first bulb on there. And for the second one, I'm doing this one just a touch longer. And again, all I'm doing is I'm doing double knots to attach those bulbs onto our wreath frame with the twine, and you can see here I'm adding the last one on, and I used 9 bulbs in total. And once I'm done with my double knotting here, I cut the excess off, and I'm going to add a whole bunch of hot glue right down there because I want to make sure nothing goes anywhere. I want to make sure nothing comes undone, so I'm adding a big dollop of hot glue on there, and then we're going to work on attaching our beautiful bow. So I'm closing together that that cable at the back, and I'm not going to close it just yet because I'm going to feed another cable through that, and you can see that right here, and I'm going to attach that on our wire frame. Sorry, not the wire frame, the jute rope frame. I say wire frame all the time, it's always in my head. And then once I attach that on there, I'm going to pull the cable tie nice and tight. Once it's securely on there, I'm going to cut the excess off. And then, of course, I'm going to arrange for my pictures our beautiful bulbs. I'm loving this color, that velvet, the velour, whatever you want to call it. I'm just loving the color. A nice burgundy with that natural burlap, some greenery, and that pine cone really came together, and that black and white edges of that 2.5-inch ribbon. Just loving how everything came together with this wreath. Here it is on my door, a beautiful contemporary wreath, nice and easy, nice and simple. And for those that don't like working with deco mesh, this is a perfect wreath to create for the holiday season. And don't forget, Wreathmas Week 2025, all the links are right down below. You just click that playlist for all of the previous episodes for Wreathmas Week 2025. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.